score points.
And it'll be Louisville that controls the opening possession. So glad you could be with us here tonight from Boston. And this is Olivia Cochran. Point guard is one of those 3 grad transfers in Nina Rickards. Out to the wing. And that's Sydney Taylor unable to hit the 3. It's going over to Boston College.
You can see in this first defensive possession for BC, that's one of the big questions, right? How do they defend Cochran inside? You saw Andrea Daly get an opportunity first. Waggoner coming over with the help defense. She's going to cause so much emphasis out of this Boston College defense.
There's the original starting lineup that Coach Mack has gone with most of the season. Tiana Todd right to the rack. There was a change to that starting 5 in their loss at Virginia Tech Sunday. It was Andrea Daly who came off the bench, but she's back in there tonight at the outset. And this is the normal 5 for Coach Walls in Louisville. And Taylor had it stripped. Taya Sidbury comes away with it. And she took it almost coast to coast. That's turned over there by Daly. That'll be an over and back.
Yeah, that first pass was a little bit behind, and then everything was kind of just out of sequence there for Joanna Burnaby-McNamee's team. You know, she was really impressed. We talked to her before the game about, you know, where the buy-in still is, she feels like, with this group, even despite the losing streak right now. Felt like they did some things well down at Louisville. Obviously, Jefferson can't have the game she had. Boston College is going to try to pull an upset here. But she... a couple of good days in practice and is hoping that there's some positive momentum out of that.
Meanwhile, Louisville just made a very quick change. I told you Nina Rickards is the 5-year senior point guard. She's out of this game immediately in place of her backup, Jada Curry. Cal transfer, a junior. And Curry can be a better scorer than can Rickards. Turnover again by the Cardinals. Tiana Todd had the first 2. That time gets the pass off, and Waggoner could not hit. Dontavia, one of BC's best scorers. Eric, she had 0 at Virginia Tech on Sunday.
Kind of amazing, and that's one of those possessions that Coach Mack's going to be frustrated in because everything's right. It just doesn't go in the basket. And that's the step here for Boston College. In transition, doing what they want to do. Now they got to finish inside. Another chance.
And that time Waggoner capitalizes, plus the foul. There's her first basket in a couple of games. And Louisville scoreless in its first 4 possessions.
Well, the one thing about Waggoner is, even if maybe she's coming off a tough game, and like she did against Virginia Tech, it doesn't usually sustain itself. She usually bounces back pretty well.
Comes in as the team's 3rd leading scorer, 2nd leading rebounder, and the 2nd best at stealing the ball in the conference, Dontavia Waggoner. 5-0 start. Louisville, I know Eric was a little bit concerned about the outset of this game, and they turn it over again. Rickards, who's back in there, and her pass got knocked away. Sidbury, nice catch off the deflection. It's 7-0. Boston College, a dream start.
And Jeff Walls is going to try to let his team play their way through this. 7-0, Josh, and there was another possession the Eagles could have scored on. Remember that they didn't.
And Louisville's had the ball 5 times prior to this possession, 0 points. Off the bench is Lily Love, the Georgia Tech transfer. Able to save it inside was Nyla Harris. Now Russell. 3rd chance on the possession, and there is Love. So Coach Walls went into his bench early. Curry, Russell, Love coming in there to try to give a boost.
And we've seen Boston College kind of throw some things defensively, as we said. Again, Daly's been the one in the paint. Sidbury's been a little bit farther outside. It's taken a moment for Louisville to adjust to that.
Another aggressive attack by Dontavia Waggoner. She'll get another trip to the line for Boston College.
It is an interesting coaching thing here for Jeff Walls, and obviously, you know, I think most folks understood what happened in the end of that game against Syracuse on Sunday. We'll talk more about that specifically, but when you feel like you come out of a game that you could have, should have, whatever phrase you want to put on it, a game that you could have and maybe you feel like should have won, how do you respond to that? How do you come out of that in such a big moment when you have all of these ranked games in a row, and now you're here against Boston College on a Thursday night? So far, the Eagles have taken advantage.
Waggoner already with 5, and there's a travel against the center, Olivia Cochran, out on the perimeter. That is already 3 turnovers.
It's just out of sorts right now. And I think I understand what Jeff Walz is doing, right? He wants his team to grow from this. He wants his team to be able to play through it. And they're talented enough that this is not going to be the defining moment of the game right here, potentially. But it's just a little out of sorts right now to start this game for the Cardinals.
Todd off-balanced and an offensive foul against Tiana Todd. Good job by Alexia Mobley. Beg your pardon. 13, Marissa Russell. I've called her name. And watch 13 get set. Louisville just turned it over, by the way, as you watch that for the 5th time in the first about 3.5 minutes of this game.
They've been trying to get the ball inside, which is what we talked about. Just 1 attempt from the outside so far, really. That's just the 1 attempt total in the game from the outside.
Boston College, meanwhile, has made 3 of its 4 shots. Here's Sidbury attacking the rim. Couldn't finish the first time. Couldn't finish the second time. Couldn't finish the third time. Wow, Taya Sidbury, 3 in close. Remains a 7-point lead for Boston College. Still, Rickards got around Todd. And Nina Rickards gets the second bucket for the Cards.
And there's so many players on this Louisville team. You just know that you have that in your arsenal. Just a good, steady move to get to the basket.
Daly, that was another good look that Boston College couldn't hit. Pull up Sydney Taylor.
Well, you just made this point. As well as Boston College has started this game, there's been some missed opportunities inside so far.
Daly had it poked away by Rickards, but saved by Tiana Todd. 2-point jumper. How about that? As she hit the deck, Tiana Todd's second bucket. Largest lead matched at 7. Just over midway point of this first quarter, they'll let Olivia Cochran alone out there, daring her to shoot. She did not oblige. Marissa Russell, the Canadian, threw that one. Stolen. 6 Louisville turnovers. And this is what BC does best. They get steals and they try to attack.
Sneaky important sequence here, Josh, right before the media window on the next whistle.
And it was a great find. Ivy to Daly. Boston College a 9-point lead, and Coach Walz isn't going to wait any longer for that media timeout. Boston College 13-4. Dontavia Waggoner had 5 early.
What even is this? Don't touch my things, gross.
From that tough loss in Syracuse, and Eric sloppy in the opening minutes.
Yeah, certainly is. 6 turnovers to start, but to Boston College's credit, 4 of those 6 are steals. So the Eagles, that one there from Ivy, have done a good job. They've put together, Coach Mack likes to call it her junk defense sometimes, and just kind of throwing some things at the wall, seeing what happens. They've done a decent job. Now, though, Boston College with a bunch of changes here. How does that
about 6 minutes into this game. And Jai had the best game of her freshman season at Louisville in the loss. Waggoner for 2. And there's Lacey sneaking in, but brought the ball down. BC owns the possession arrow. They'll keep it.
Well, if you're Louisville here, you just almost have to just restart this game, right? You know what your talent level is. You know you have the ability to overcome a 9-point deficit. You just kind of restart, get into a different flow of the game, and just try to, see one or two go through the basket and get your form again. Because it's just, as you said, just out of sorts right now.
Sidbury, offensive foul on the pass. Second charge that Louisville has taken. So Sidbury gets the turnover and the personal.
Does feel like every possession at this early stage of the game gets magnified, and the Eagles have had a couple like that because you feel like Louisville's going to find it at some point. They've been doing it for over a decade, and how much, if you're Boston College, can you build this lead out until that point happens?
Rickards looking for her second bucket, and she gets it again, attacking the rim. Florida transfer Nina Rickards got 4 of the 6.
She's definitely looked the best on the offensive end so far. 2 really good takes.
Alif Istanbuloglu is in the middle for Louisville. She came in during the timeout that Coach Walls called. Waggoner on the attack. And it's off of Njai. Going back to the Cardinals as Dontavia misses. Yeah, as poorly as Louisville started this game for 6 minutes, Boston College actually probably feels like it should have a bigger than 7-point lead.
I mean, you look at all the turnovers, 7 of them for Louisville, but the Eagles just 4 points off turnovers here in the early going.
Kiki Jefferson, there's turnover number 8 against Louisville. That's the grad senior who had 27 points in the first meeting against BC. And this has been a team that, as you just alluded to, has been a juggernaut since they joined the conference 10 seasons ago.
Yeah, we've seen it time in, time out. They're just such a high-quality program that, again, and remember, you're always getting your opponent's best shots in the league because you've been as good as Louisville has for a long time.
Andrea Daly leads BC in scoring on the year. She's got just 2 of the 13 points. Kayla Thompson took an extra step on her way to the hoop. Boston College now has turned it over 4 times. Thompson's a Louisville native, playing against her hometown team.
We were joking with Coach Mack earlier this year. Sometimes it's hard to pry those Louisville kids away from Louisville. Louisville High School network, which is so strong athletically. So many of those students going to the University of Louisville and the University of Kentucky.
Zone defense for BC. Rickards, nice dish underneath. Unable to finish that time. Lily Love missed it, and it's going back to Louisville, though. They've got the possession arrow. Shot never hit the rim. You've only got 1 second on that shot clock.
A tough take here. You'll see Mobley, 23, do a good job to find that in traffic to get enough of the rebound to cause the jump. 1.3. Inbound under the goal.
Gonna have to be quick. They find it in the middle. That's a good look for Istanbuloglu. Louisville now 3 out of 10. Basket matches the largest lead. Tiana Todd delivers that basket. She is 3 for 3 in the opening quarter.
And Josh, the Eagles still have not taken an outside shot. Those couple of Todd baskets have been the extent. Everything else has been at the rim, in the paint. But Todd's done a pretty good job finding her spot without forcing it out to the 3-point line.
Yeah, Eric, I feel like we've talked a lot about Louisville's struggles here in the opening 10 minutes, but conversely, as Rickards gets the 3rd of the 4 Louisville buckets, but conversely, you can make an argument this has been BC's best quarter in a month. Nina Rickards, the Florida transfer, the one keeping Louisville afloat. She guards Todd, and now it's Andrea Daly, shot clock at 10. Lily Krashevetz, the freshman. Daly takes it, spins right, tough shot, and got the contact. Had to force the issue there with the timer winding down.
Well, it felt like this was one of the first time the Eagles got forced this deep into the timer. Daly just kind of having to force something up, but clearly there, the follow-through on a block attempt made contact.
Redshirt sophomore Alexia Mobley was the guilty party. She certainly reached. Sure, Coach Wall's thinking a bit of a bailout there.
Free throw line is going to be crucial in this game for Boston College, Josh. They're in the 300s in the country at the free throw line. Have to take advantage of every opportunity. And as you said, especially at this stage, in what feels like one of, if not their best quarter in ACC play this year.
Bailey 69% on the season. Made them both. BC 5 of 5 at the stripe. Even Dontavia Waggoner, just a 57% free throw shooter, made her 3. 9-point lead again. Turnover number 9 against Louisville. That time, Jada Curry.
Well, this zone defense has done an outstanding job of taking Louisville out of what they want to do. And really, besides Rickards, just has not been there. Even right here, just kind of Waggoner comes and collapses. It shortens the amount of space they are driving the timeline. And there's just nowhere to go. You dribble it off your foot.
That face on Coach Wall's just about said it all. A miss by JoJo Lacey, tipped right back to her, and she traveled on her way to the hoop. Lacey's had some nice games since returning from an absence. Out for 7 straight games in January. Boston College 5 turnovers compared to those 9 for the Cardinals. Final possession here of the quarter likely with the timer turned off. Kayla Thompson all over the Cal transfer Jada Curry. Curry tries it again. Curry, mid-range. And Boston College carries a 9-point lead after quarter number 1. Fantastic start for the home team. Comments made by Coach Wall's post-game. Statements by both the ACC and clarifications later issued by the NCAA. Waggoner got blocked inside there by Nyla Harris. It all kind of comes up where Louisville's still not happy about the way that ended. And frankly, I think you and I, having watched the play that I'm sure Louisville fans have seen too many times, you know, they had a gripe.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And I think the biggest thing out of that is, A, it was obviously in a very important and potentially consequential game, but B, the most important thing, and I think you hear coaches say this sometimes, is let's not lose that game twice, right? And how do you respond from that? And especially now, Rickards is doing a wonderful job keeping Louisville in, but now it's about digging deep time and trying to work their way out of a really good first quarter here for Boston College.
5 on the shot clock for JoJo late, or for Tiana Todd. Had to put it up, and Todd couldn't get it to drop. And that's going against Taya Sidbury. She'll be called for her second. Todd almost made this shot, just curling off the front iron.
Well, let's see. Is Sidbury reaching in there? And I think potentially on that second swing, you got some contact with the arm there. But most importantly, that's 2 fouls on Taya Sidbury here early in the second quarter.
She remains on the court. That's for 3. And that's good for Jada Curry. First 5 points of the quarter belong to Louisville. Right back in this. Lacey trying to beat the Cardinals down the court. She does. Over Eston Bulolo.
Remember Curry, who came into the game pretty early on. Both of these teams have already gone 10 deep, by the way. 10 deep in that first quarter.
That's the first bucket for JoJo Lacey. Right to the rack. Boy, I tell you, that Nina Rickards is having a night. She's 5 for 5 now, 10 of Louisville's 15.
Well, there's so much offensive talent that no matter what you do defensively, there's someone who's going to find a way.
Tiana Todd. She's been delivering offensively for Boston College. 4 out of 5 and a 3-pointer.
What a massive answer there by Boston College after Louisville had gone on a little bit of a run to start this second quarter.
Harris got rejected, but fouled. Wow. Nyla Harris got blocked by Dontavia Waggoner, and that looked pretty good. And Tim Bryant, the official, blew the whistle late. There's the 5th basket for Rickards, but then the answer from Tiana Todd.
And Waggoner, who kind of brings 2 defenders with her, There was an opening in the zone there. It's one of those physical games, and we've seen that early on. You kind of have to adjust to it.
That's the official who called that foul on Dontavia Waggoner. Tim Bryant getting an earful from Joanna Burnaby McNamee. 1 for 2 for Nyla Harris, who has had 3 double-doubles in her last 4 games. Sophomore playing very well on the front line. That was her first point of this one, though, and it's a 6-point BC lead. Todd feeling it. That time tried to make a pass, a little too unselfish. She threw it away. Curry had it poked free. Lacey got her hands on it. Down the court to Waggoner, who finishes at the rim. That's BC basketball this season, a steal leading to offense.
And it's Waggoner who started that sequence, who's reaching in, didn't get the steal, but it just caused enough of kind of a turn that Lacey was able to come in, get the takeaway, and then Waggoner running the other way.
Only backboard for Olivia Cochran. Jacayla Thompson tipped it forward. And Todd finds Lacey. She couldn't finish. Thompson can't hit. And it's going back to Louisville after 2 layups rolled tantalizingly off the iron. That close to a double-digit lead.
I mean, that's the thing that's kind of crazy about this start, Josh, right? I mean, there's the steal from Lacey, and you'll get Waggoner out front. But as good as this start has been for Boston College, it feels like there's been even more on the table that the Eagles have just have not been able to get at the rim.
They've had at least 4 or 5 layups roll off that cylinder, including those last 2. Another one, Rickards. She finally missed. Love on the offensive glass, couldn't hit it. And Waggoner saves the board. Again, a chance to go up 10. What a pass by Thompson. And Daly, an offensive foul. Let's see what Andrea Daly did here to get a charge on a play where it looked like the foul would be on the defense.
Well, you could see those feet moving back. They were not in the cylinder initially, but it felt like by the time there was contact, those feet were right on the edge of the arc.
Yeah, looking at that replay, not sure that was the correct call. Did get her arm out, Daly. Maybe she was called for extending and giving an elbow. 8-point BC lead, foul against BC.
And that's now 4 fouls on Boston College in this second quarter to none for Louisville. Still 6 minutes to go.
Sydney Taylor, the UMass grad, transfer back onto the court for the Cardinals in place of Jada Curry. Louisville had the quick start this quarter. BC has gone ahead by 8. One shy of the lead they had after 1, and another missing close. One rolled off for Nyla Harris.
Not a bad look inside. Both teams have had their moments at the rim. Just have not gone at the rate you're expecting.
Lacey switched onto here by Cochran. And there's foul by Nyla Harris, pushing Waggoner in the back. Only 2 in the quarter against Louisville.
So remember, Louisville started this second quarter scoring 7 the first 9 points, but Boston College since that point has kind of come back here, built the lead back out to 8. It's been all about Rickards on the offensive end. So yeah, 2 for 13, my goodness, besides Rickards.
And Coach Walls is thinking, thank goodness she got on the plane. Louisville goes a little zone look here. Shot clock under 10 for Jacayla Thompson. It's the second defensive foul of this possession and of the quarter for Louisville. That time it's Lily Love. One of the 6 transfers brought in this season and in the rotation for Coach Walls. She left Georgia Tech in the middle of the season last year, did Love. Waggoner bullies her way inside, got the whistle. It was another one that came a little late. 2 free throws for Dontavia Waggoner. Louisville just fouled 3 times on that possession.
Well, we mentioned that Boston College, it was 4-0. It's now 4-3 in fouls. Waggoner has, I think, been more aggressive today, coming off that effort against Virginia Tech where she didn't have any points. We expected that. You don't usually see back-to-back games where Waggoner struggles, but this is where she's at her best. She's not afraid to drive the basketball inside, get to the line a little bit more, and that's why making her free throws becomes so crucial, because it's such an important part of her game if she can get to the line, and she has been getting to the line more this year than she has in the past. It's such a big part. Yeah, she's been good today.
5 for 5 at the free throw line. Again, below 60% at the stripe on the season for Waggoner. First double-digit lead of the night. Boston College ahead by 10. Midway through quarter number 2, Rickards ran into trouble. Another turnover and another steal. It's Tiana Todd. Thompson lets it fly for 3. Here comes Rickards galloping and being fouled by Waggoner from behind. So a timeout on the floor with Boston College holding the largest lead of the night against the 18th ranked team in the country.
As she said, we feel like there's some moments where our defense has been pretty good, and I think you saw that in the first quarter today. Boston College kind of putting a little bit of his own defense out, making life difficult for Louisville and certainly taking them out of their rhythm. So it's about finding a way to match up on the offensive end. And I really like the shot selection today. I know that there's some shots at the rim that haven't gone. Louisville putting a little bit of pressure on here.
And they get the turnover from Andrea Daly. Back comes Kiki Jefferson. Up ahead, and another takeaway by Boston College. They knocked it right off of Marissa Russell. One turnover begets another. And that kind of half for the Cardinals, that's number 12.
And it comes off maybe their best defensive sequence of the game, where they employed some pressure, which they're going to do now. So how does Boston College handle that? Ja'Kayla Thompson, the freshman, in a big spot here, turns it over.
Back-to-back for BC. Jefferson got the call, blocking against Njai, as she threw that one up towards the basket and hit the ground hard.
Let's see. Again, tough take, kind of ends up awkwardly coming down on Njai.
Jefferson, 27 points in the 28-point win Louisville had against BC last month. Scoreless thus far in this one. She's only even taken one shot.
Well, right now we are at nearly 4 minutes without a shot from the floor made for Louisville, and almost 3 minutes for Boston College.
Jefferson transferred from JMU, Lancaster, Pennsylvania native. Played 4 years in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and was last year's Sun Belt Player of the Year. Another one of those great gets for Coach Jeff Walz out of the portal. Leading scorer this year for the Cardinals in her one season in the ACC. For Louisville, as you said, hadn't hit any field goals recently, but now 4 straight free throws to cut the deficit down to 6. Jefferson, perhaps still feeling the effects of that fall, goes to the bench. Back-to-back turnovers forced by Louisville. This time BC gets a shot. It's a deep 2 that hits the rim from Lacey. Momentum coming back with the red-clad Cardinals. Rickards ran into trouble there with Nene Njai knocking it free. We got a foul called against Boston College. 2 free throws, Louisville, because they're in the bonus. It's another one that has drawn the ire of the BC bench.
Well, let's see. So Njai does a pretty good job after the initial play to then take her hand out. You'll see it right here. She pulls that hand out, but I don't know. I think they got Njai. They got Njai, okay.
Usually on those loose ball situations, when you get players diving on the court, they give you a little bit of latitude if there's some contact.
The only thing I can think of was she was behind and then kind of reaching over, so perhaps that's where the call comes in. But remember, Sidbury's been out here a little bit with 2 fouls, Waggoner on 2 fouls, and Njai now with 2. Louisville has come back with their defense since they've put this press on. They have not made a shot from the floor in 5 minutes, but they have closed this lead.
Prashevets kept the pivot foot, couldn't hit. Another layup that just rolled off for Boston College. Louisville's 6-0 run have been 6 free throws until Cochran up. The lid on the field goal department remains on that basket. Thought that was going in. Todd faked the three.
Rickards lost her shoe.
Daly can't hit for 2, and there's another foul. It'll be 2 more free throws. This time Olivia Cochran as Prashevets knocked her to the hardwood.
Well, that's a couple sequences in a row. You can't really ask for a better shot than that for Daly. Watch Rickards right there. Sneaker goes flying, and she doesn't want that to get in the way.
Over towards the photographers over on that baseline. So Louisville has had 6 straight free throws out of the media timeout. They are really taking advantage of being in the bonus, aren't they?
Absolutely. Remember, Boston College picked up those fouls early.
7 straight. They're right back in this game, down 10 to down 7. Down 3. With 7 straight points. Make it 8. How often do you see a team go on an 8-0 run without making a field goal?
I mean, they haven't made a field goal in 5 minutes. And yet, they've closed this to a 2-point game. And again, of course, credit for the field goal, but it's all about the press. And since they put that on, Boston College has been equally out of sorts as Louisville was early on offense.
Thompson found Daly with numbers. Another one rims out. Offensive rebound, Lacey, and she sneaks it back up and in. JoJo Lacey on the offensive boards. Love, nice pass. Mobley ends the field goal drought. Nearly 5.5 minutes before that one for the backup Alexia Mobley. Foul against Louisville this time.
Well, good passing on this sequence for Louisville in transition. Waggoner comes out and a good find for Mobley. Coming right down the baseline.
Before that last putback, by the way, by JoJo Lacey, Boston College had missed 7 field goals in a row. Boy, they are harassing Jacayla Thompson. Almost turned it over again. Fortunate it rolled right back into her hands. I wonder why Kayla Ivy's been on the bench as long as she has. Little baptism by fire for the freshman Thompson. Waggoner. Louisville a chance to tie or get the lead. Russell finds the trailer. Cochran couldn't handle it. Boston College gets the steal with numbers. Todd to Lacey. 2 in a row for JoJo Lacey.
Well, good job settling through and taking advantage of the turnover before Louisville could get its defense set up.
.145 to go before halftime. Turn it into a good one here at County. Cochran with a size advantage over Waggoner. Took advantage, Olivia Cochran. That's her first field goal of the night.
You know, we saw her get that chance early, first possession, and it felt like she has not gotten a ton of those. Travel called here.
Boy, that was a nice finish there by Andrea Daly. I thought for a moment that was going to be a field goal and a foul. They called the travel, though. This was a moment earlier.
Well, the transition from Todd, nice little fake to her right, which opened up the passing lane for Lacey.
Andrea Daly now with 4 of BC's 10 turnovers on her ledger. Another chance to tie for the Cardinals. Jefferson couldn't hit it, got it back, and Jefferson does tie the game. From 10 down in the span of about 4 minutes, they've tied it up. They take it right away from Jacayla Thompson. And that's a charge on Lily Love. Rickards feeding Love, and an offensive foul.
And now Boston College, to answer your question, will come back to Kayla Ivey here with a minute to go. The veteran point guard, as Louisville has started employing this trap extremely well.
Yeah, they have flustered Thompson in particular with 3 turnovers in her limited minutes on the court. And so the ACC leader in assist to turnover ratio back in there to handle. Tie game. Shot clock down to 5. Daly gets help from Waggoner on the baseline for 2. Dontavia Waggoner, an 11-point first half for Boston College. Shot clock is turned off here. Louisville has it in the capable hands of a 5-year senior, Rickards. Down to 5, it's Kiki Jefferson. Forced her way inside, and Jefferson able to tie the game at halftime. The final 5 minutes of the half belong to the visitors. And a double-digit deficit was out for much of that second quarter because of having 2 fouls. She and the original starting 5 on the court for BC. And Louisville an opportunity for the lead. The last 2 baskets came from Kiki Jefferson. But it's Sydney Taylor who misses the first shot of the second half.
Not that many shots from the outside in that first half. That was just the 3rd 3-point attempt of the game for Louisville.
And how about that setup by Kayla Ivey? Waggoner now with 13, but Ivey was on the bench for a long stretch in the second quarter. Just picked up her 4th assist. And this start to the second half looks very similar to the start to the first half thus far for the Cardinals.
Just a little out of sorts on the offensive end. It'll be interesting to see how much Coach Mack relies on Ivey. And if Louisville tries to employ that same trap that they did earlier, great find.
It was, and Sidbury's going to the line. Is Sidbury, always with that smile on her face.
This is where Ivey thrives, her court vision to see Sidbury open in behind, and then smart play by Sidbury to get Cochran's 2nd foul.
Boston College has a team 8 of 8 at the free throw line. Just the 3rd point for Sidbury, who comes in the team's 2nd leading scorer. 2 for 2, and it's 4-0 here in the 3rd quarter thus far in favor of BC. Nice response out of halftime thus far for Coach Mack and her squad. BC has never beaten Louisville in the 10 seasons that the Cardinals have been a part of the ACC. They're 0-14. That's for 3, Curry. And it's going to stay on this end of the court. They've just got Sidbury on her 3rd. What does Coach Joanna Burnaby-McNamee do now with Taya Sidbury in some more foul difficulty? She's going to go to the bench.
And you'll see the opportunity on the rebound, and Sidbury, who got in position, the rebound kind of comes back over her, and she goes reaching for it. A ton there, but an important 3rd foul.
Taylor, and 1 for Sydney Taylor. First basket of the game for the UMass grad transfer. Well, they take advantage of that call that, to be honest with you, seemed to, wow.
I think they're
counting the basket. And now they're going to review to see if it could be a flagrant, I think, as well.
Previous play is under review.
She had been 0 for 4, had Sydney Taylor.
So Boston College wants the call there on that arm being extended against Ivey. Get a great look at it right here. Watch that arm extend and then make contact with Kayla Ivey.
The signal on the court was basket plus defensive foul. Not sure you can overturn that. The only thing in a review that you can do is upgrade it from a common foul to a flagrant foul. It can't be changed from a defensive foul to an offensive foul, I don't think, unless they were going to say that elbow was a flagrant against the shooter, Sydney Taylor. Well, 1 minute into this second half, and Boston College with, at the moment, a 2-point lead. Katie Lukanich now taking a look with Tim Bryant.
Let's take one more look at it. Again, you're getting the reverse angle there, but is that the elbow contact that forces Ivy back? It certainly appears that way.
If that is what they're looking at, if they're looking at the elbow by the shooter, Taylor, and the only way you could change the foul call is if it's a flagrant on it. Couldn't change a common defensive foul to a common offensive foul.
So all three officials have taken a look.
If they keep the call as stands, Taylor gets a basket and a free throw. And here's the result.
Call on the floor stands.
So it is for Sydney Taylor. Remember, that possession was extended when you had the Taya Sidbury loose ball foul.
Right.
2 fouls against Boston College on that trip down the court. Joanna Burnaby-McNamee gets the explanation from Katie Lukanich.
We were being told that they were looking to see how egregious was the elbow, and they ruled that their determination was that it was not egregious enough to change anything there.
So not only did Ivy take that little elbow to the face, she also was charged with the personal. No 3-point play, and that's ruled off of Waggoner. The possession continues. Wow, Louisville's had the ball for feels like forever. Cardinals' 7th offensive rebound as a team. Waggoner swiped it right out of the hands of Nyla Harris. Dontavia doing what Dontavia does best.
BC just has not allowed Louisville to get that sort of dagger basket that it feels like to go on really any kind of run.
And a travel by Andrea Daly. That's her 5th turnover tonight. Well, in our sport, we've got history made tonight. It is in Iowa City, where Caitlin Clark has scored the first 8 points for her team to pass Kelsey Plum and become the all-time women's basketball Division I scoring leader. You knew it was coming. Question was, how long would it take tonight? And as this game is tied up here, great Caitlin Clark passing a phenomenal all-time great in Kelsey Plum.
It's a remarkable achievement. Maybe even more remarkable is how she's kind of taken the sporting world by storm, and it feels like bringing more people in. That's been one of the great themes of women's basketball here over the last few years. More and more eyeballs on the sport.
Well, she didn't make people wait around in Iowa City tonight. Todd for 3 in the lead. Tiana Todd, what a night.
And another example of a moment where it felt like, okay, here is maybe the Louisville run, and the Eagles just continue to find the basket in the big moment.
She's doing her best Caitlin Clark impersonation. 5 of 6 for Todd. That rolled off for Taylor, got it back, and is fouled by Daly. Sydney Taylor starting to assert herself. She's got the last 4 points for Louisville, her first 4 of the night. That was Daly's 2nd foul.
So an aggressive take there, and it's Daly on that bump there on the rebound that gets called.
And again, it's a second chance opportunity that Louisville takes advantage of. 6 straight points. That's a foul called against Krashavets. Unbelievable. It goes against BC again. So they get the 2 free throws and they'll get the ball back. Already 4 fouls against Boston College here in this quarter.
And sometimes you talk about it in hockey more than basketball when you get these possessions where you just get like chance after chance without it clearing the zone. And that's what it's felt like here for Louisville. It just continues to be chance after chance. Looks like she lost her footing as much as anything, but obviously made too much contact to go uncalled.
And the miss by Rickards, rebounded by Daly. I'm with you. That did not look like a foul on Krashavets. Again for three, Todd. That one a heat check. Just her second missed shot all night. Louisville looking for the lead. Taylor, no call. And now the call is made. It's offensive on Sydney Taylor. Jeff Walls in disagreement with Tim Bryant. Oh, boy.
Oh, her feet are in the cylinder.
Yeah,
I don't know about that one.
I thought you were going to have a no call. Then the official decided he had to call something, and he called a charge that seemed dubious. I'd say this, the way this game is being played with this high-pressure defense, very difficult game to officiate.
And it is definitely be physical, and I don't think surprisingly so. I think kind of expected that with both of these teams. It's a grinded out kind of night right now.
Ivy with the shot clock at 3. Front iron for Kayla Ivy. And again, Louisville looking for the lead for the first time tonight. Not yet. Tiana Todd grabs the defensive rebound. Todd. Waggoner. No whistle on that one. Got it back, though, did Dontavia. Three and a half minutes into the second half. 7-6 BC here in the quarter, and Waggoner missed twice on the possession. And now, boy, Sidbury just got her fourth. Oh, boy, she came back into the game after picking up her third early in this quarter, and this is one that she's going to want to have back. Louisville's already in the bonus, and she'll have to sit.
Knew it right away, just trying, when your arm is locked like that, you have to avoid using it as sort of a catapult to come around. And when her arm's engaged, it's going to get called every time. A break there for Sidbury.
Sydney Taylor, who has been taking charge here of late, was the one she fouled. Taylor now just 2 out of 4 on her free throws here in this quarter. Best she can do on this trip is tie it.
And once again, Louisville is in the bonus early, Josh. Second quarter in a row. And obviously their free throws have been a massive part today. They actually had missed a couple in a row here, but still 12-15 now, retying the game.
At Boston College as a team has been called for 15 fouls tonight. Full court pressure giving a problem to Andrea Daly. BC has to use a timeout. Nobody open. Tie game just as it was at halftime. Boston College and 18th ranked Louisville locked up in a good one in Chestnut Hill. About 4 minutes into the third quarter here from County Forum. Josh Maurer, Eric Galanti. Thanks for joining us here. Thursday night ACC women's action. This conference is a beast again this year. And how about 5 of the top 19 teams in this week's AP poll? Coming right out of ACC action. This Louisville team has been a steady member of that poll for pretty much a decade.
And I think what it tells you there to see, let's put NC State for a side for a second, but those other 3 teams basically anywhere from 12 to 19 kind of is up for your interpretation, right? I think, you know, kind of in that range. I'm not sure we know who the best team in this league is. NC State obviously has had the year that has put them in the top 10 and the only one there right now, but I don't think you'd be surprised if any of those top teams come away with an ACC championship.
Eric, when the freshman Jakayla Thompson has taken over the point guard duties for Kayla Ivy tonight, she has been swarmed, surrounded, and attacked. She came in for about 10 seconds, and Ivy's now right back on the court after that tie-up. Kayla Lazama, backup guard in for the first time tonight for BC. Lacey joined her in the backcourt. Lazama wasting no time. And again, the Cardinals have a chance for the lead for the first time tonight. Marissa Russell. Off of Louisville it goes. And back over to BC. That's turnover number 18.
So Russell's trying to pull the defense with her to left side and then come back across the grain. And does it pretty well, but credit to Kayla Lazama for reading the play, staying in her lane, and creating the steal.
Lacey Good find from Ivy for two. JoJo Lacey. I gotta tell you, when Ivy's been out there, she seems like she's made the right pass every time tonight. This is 5 against 4. Lacey unable to get up. She's down injured on the other end of the court. And BC gets a steal even with 4 defenders. Their 11th steal of the game as Lacey has to work her way to the bench. How about that? 4 against 5, and they still get the steal.
Well, let's go back to what happened with JoJo Lacey here. The follow through at the end of it, oh, just got stepped on right there and took a tough fall.
After that, didn't even really attempt to get up.
Really able to get up. Kind of an odd sequence.
That was remarkable. And Kayla Lozama has come into the game and had back-to-back steals for BC. That pass couldn't get through traffic, and a foul in the backcourt, 88 feet from the basket, gives Louisville 2 more free throws. Cochran took that shot to the face. We got players that are limping around here in this physical game. Before we went to commercial, this is why, Eric, on that steal. Watch what happens as Dontavia Waggoner gets her 3rd foul of the night.
Yeah, right there you see the hand getting up high, so they did go to the monitor to look at it. Right there, again, kind of that open palm reaching for the ball. So Sidbury with 4 fouls, Waggoner with 3. Something to watch here for a Boston College team that, still to their credit, has not given up the lead.
Just a common foul was the ruling. We were telling you in Iowa City, Caitlin Clark has broken the all-time Division I women's basketball scoring record. As her Iowa Hawkeyes are taking on Michigan, she has 23 of the 33 Iowa points. Iowa's built a double-digit lead early in that game against Michigan. 23 of the first 33 belong to Caitlin Clark.
Gonna break it in style.
That's right. All right, another chance for their first lead all night after another offensive rebound. And they still can't get over the hump. Russell missed only off the backboard. Ivy, tough pass got to Daly. Only 3 fouls this half against Louisville, so non-shooting on that one. You know, there's plays like that that don't go down in the ledger for Kayla Ivy because it's not a true assist, but she creates that foul with that pass. Look how she understands where Daly's positioning is. That pass is maybe a touch underthrown, but still, it's a good read by Ivy to put Daly in a spot to go get it. Ends up drawing the foul. Waggoner right back on the court with those 3 fouls for BC. Daly one-on-one against Marissa Russell. Puts it up. Andrea Daly puts it home. Just her 2nd field goal of the night, and Daly gets back on defense. Nearly had a steal.
Yeah, that's an unforced error for Louisville. It doesn't end up costing them, but Daly was able to read that from the jump. Just trying to force it in a little bit.
Tell you what, though, that's pretty impressive. You score a basket, not easy to realize you got to run back down the court like Daly just did.
Well, she picks it up right there. I mean, that's such a good read. It was a great look at it.
Little offense-defense here for Coach Mack. Nene and Jai in because Waggoner being protected with the 3 fouls and BC on defense. 4 minutes to go in the 3rd. Love spinning and scoring. Lee Love having a nice night off the bench with 6. 1-point game. We were tied at halftime. Boston College had a 10-point lead midway through the 2nd quarter. Daly from Ivy again, and a foul whistled as the shot does not drop. That's just another version of that same pass you were just describing.
Yeah, it absolutely was. And when Kayla Ivy's come back into this game, she's really been able to keep Boston College away from that Louisville press. Good find again. She officially has 5 assists in this game. Can't necessarily give a kind of stat for that, but it's just creating points, creating opportunities for points.
I always thought there's an argument to be made that if a player makes 2 free throws after your pass, you should get an assist for that. 1 for 2. And there's a foul in the backcourt on Lozama, and Louisville will take its 8th and 9th free throws of the quarter.
Need like an advanced statistics of free throws created from pass.
This is the first free throw missed all game for BC, and that's a pretty easy call. Sending Nyla Harris to the stripe. Boston College has committed 17 fouls in this game.
Now, Louisville has been in the bonus from the early part of the second and here from the early part of the third. Not shot it quite as well in this third quarter as they did earlier, just 5 of 8 from the line.
They've now made as many free throws, and it remains that way, as many free throws as field goals tonight, 14 of each. 1 point BC lead. Just traded 1 for 2 trips. Waggoner right back in there. Lozama finds Todd, shot clock at 5, lost the ball to Todd. Nice job by Lozama to get it back to her. Has to get off the heave. And it's a shot clock violation against BC. Great defense, that possession by the Cardinals.
Yeah, Lozama did a pretty good job to actually get to that ball to at least give a chance. And I think Coach Mack is trying to argue that Todd had some contact against her, but you look at the late stages here. Lozama does a pretty good job to even get it to Todd. They're going to say that Todd created that contact, that it was not worthy of the foul call.
Aleph is Stanbalolu back in the game. Stanbalolu spinning and missing, but Cochran fouled. She'll get 2 more free throws. Olivia Cochran picks off offensive rebound number 10.
Well, this is where her great strength is, literally and figuratively, because she can be such a force inside. You see the size advantage there with Todd. There's nothing she can do. And another opportunity at the foul line. So Louisville was 9 of 10 from the line in that first half. And now 5 of 9 here in this third quarter.
And now, I'll say it again, a chance for Louisville's first lead all night. They've had a plethora of these here in the third quarter. Is this the one they cash in? Cochran 4 of 5 at the stripe. 6 points, and there it is. Louisville's first advantage. Boston College, just about 2 minutes into the game, had a 7-0 lead.
Remember, this game was tied at halftime. Louisville came back. BC did a pretty good job in the third, holding Louisville at bay. A matter of time sometimes with these Cardinals.
And Todd rides the seesaw back in the opposite direction for BC.
Boy, it's felt like it's been Todd every big moment today for BC, hasn't it?
And the response comes from Kiki Jefferson. A grad transfer from James Madison. She is tough when she goes to the hoop. Jefferson's first points of the quarter. She's got 8. Lacey tees it up. A little bit short. Good to see JoJo back in the game after that ankle injury. Curry over her shoulder, couldn't hit. Cochran, another second chance, and Louisville's up by 3. Olivia Cochran. Second chance points mounting here for the visitors. Cochran now with 9. Waggoner driving at her. Couldn't hit. Good look. Jefferson takes it to the basket. What a screen by Istanbulolu. 6 in a row for Louisville. They've got a 5-point lead.
Important sequence here for Boston College. All the momentum, 6-0 run here for the Cardinals. Coming towards the end of the third. Coach Mack encouraging her team to go here.
That 6-0 run in less than a minute of time. Waggoner tries it again, got the foul and the basket to go. Dontavia Waggoner snaps the spurt. Big basket to respond for BC.
important moment when BC needed a basket. Waggoner goes to her bread and butter, which is driving the lane, getting to the free throw line. 6 times she's gotten to the stripe today.
And she has made all 6 of those free throw attempts. 2-point Louisville lead. Cardinals offense starting to hum here late in the third. The backup guard, Jada Curry, who's a very good scorer in her own right. Love, backdoor, Jefferson attacking. Lozama got a piece, and Lozama fouled, and that's bonus. 2 free throws, Kayla Lozama. She started that with her defense.
Well, Lozama taking advantage of the opportunity in the minutes she's gotten here in the third. Just a really good job to block from behind without fouling and stay with the play to get the rebound.
Boston College 11 of 13 as a team at the line. Lozama has not scored much in ACC play. She's made only 7 field goals total, 1 point per game in conference action. For the sophomore out of Boston. Empty trip, remains a 2-point lead. As you can see on the bottom of your screen, about 11 seconds differentiate the game in shot clocks. Curry got the step. Block from Daly. Back-to-back blocks by Boston College right by the rim, and the shot clock turned off for the Eagles. Final 10 seconds of the quarter. Lozama finds Lacey with the timer down to 5. Lacey, dish off, Njai for the tie, got it, and the foul in the basket counts. Nene Njai. That's her first point in 5 games.
What a great find by JoJo Lacey. I mean, to make that pass with only, what, 1.3 on the clock at that point? What a great job, and credit to Njai for making the shot when she got the opportunity.
Njai had a career-high 10 points in the game at Louisville last month. Had not scored since until that basket. Traditional 3-point play. BC scores the final 6. That would not have counted. 6 points there against the Wolverines in that first half. 6 3-pointers. I'm also told she has 7 assists.
It's not bad.
That'll work. That'll work for a month for
really
some players.
Amazing.
Russell took a step. She traveled. Yep.
Well, I think something to watch here, Josh. Louisville has struggled to touch to start each of these 3 quarters so far. So let's watch the first minute plus here. First possession, another turnover here for Louisville.
Boston College, the final 6 points of the third. So they're on the run and trying to keep the momentum going. Ivy pitches it back for Daly. Waggoner 16 leads BC. Tiana Todd with 14. Shot clock down to 5, 1-on-1. Daly duck under move. Could not hit it. Wow, everything but. That's exactly the shot she wanted.
Yep, we've seen it a few times in big moments. There have been some opportunities for both teams where you can't really fault the shot. It just has not gone.
Foul against Daly, I think. Oh, they got
Taylor.
The offensive foul on Nyla Harris pushing against Andrea Daly. About 10 feet away from the basketball was. See what Nyla Harris did.
So we talked about this a little bit earlier, but Daly, who's kind of controlled the paint today, a little bit of a different wrinkle for this Boston College defense. She got in good position there, draws the foul. Whoa.
Oh, tough catch. But then off balance, Waggoner only hit glass.
That he can't get points for the catch because the catch was really good, but it's no recovering.
Kiki Jefferson puts the first 2 on the board in the 4th quarter, going to the rim again. That has been her spot tonight, attacking. 12 for Jefferson after a quiet start. Waggoner again couldn't get it to the rim. That time blocked. It was Kiki Jefferson denying her. Rickards to the hoop. Wow, back-to-back buckets after great defense by Louisville each time.
So Louisville went on a little bit of a run in the 3rd. Boston College responded. And they do it again.
Rickards had a hot start. Now she's got 14 to lead Louisville. It's Daly. Waggoner has missed the last 2 shots. Doesn't put it up this time. Ivy with the timer down to 3. Has to get it up. And she couldn't hit the rim. That's 3 possessions in a row. Louisville has forced a shot that did not hit the rim. Eric, that's great defense.
Yeah, it is. And remember earlier when Louisville went on their run, it was their defense in terms of their trap. But this has been kind of the best sequence of them just kind of setting up, playing their defensive game in the half court.
Ja'Kayla Thompson comes in to run the point for Boston College. They have taken Kayla Ivy out of the game. Sydney Taylor scored all 7 of her points in the 3rd. Trying to get it to Nyla Harris. Lacey tipped the pass. Ball is loose. Rickards saves it. It's going to be off BC with 1 on the shot clock. Much better defensive possession thus far for the home team. Need to finish it off here in 1.3 seconds. And Louisville's going to talk about it. They'll use a timeout. Coach Walls senses this is an important inbounds play. We'll come back with it right after these words. 3-point Cardinals lead.
Want a drink without the booze? Sprouts is shaking things up.
The last 3 BC trips.
Well, you're going to see a theme. That one gets in deep. It's BC trying to get inside and just really good work at the rim here by Louisville. That one's late in the timer. Just kind of had to force something up there. Jeff Walls thinks enough of this possession to use the timeout. Just 1.3 to go. See what he draws up.
It's a play for, oh my, Nyla Harris. And that was a worthy usage of a timeout.
Yep, it was a great one. It's just a great call. She slips in behind, the defense loses her, and she can just play wall ball off the window.
That was the play of the night thus far. It gives Louisville the first 6 points of the quarter to turn a 1-point deficit into a 5-point lead. Thompson delivers. Waggoner hits in the lane. First basket of the quarter for BC, and Waggoner with 18. Still a 1-possession game. Jada Curry one-on-one against the freshman. Now it's Sydney Taylor, free to fire. Great start to the quarter. 4 for 4 shooting for Louisville, Eric.
Taylor had just been 2 of 4. Excuse me, 2 of 7 from the floor, but it's a big shot there. In control. Good luck.
Daly forcing the issue off the window. Took it right to Sydney Taylor and finished. And a 3-point game. Sydney Taylor again. Louisville 5 for 5 to the fourth quarter.
And one thing we're seeing, they've gone faster here. The pace is quickened. It's more in transition here for the Cardinals.
Lacey slicing through to the hoop. Now BC's made 3 in a row. And it's going to stay Louisville possession. Let's go back to the inbounds play with 1 second on the shot clock coming out of the Louisville timeout.
Well, you can see Harris just come off her line. Thompson gets screened out. There's nowhere to go. And then Harris just kind of wide open to play it off the window. But to Boston College's credit, they once again have hung in here. So now they've brought Sidbury back on the floor, Josh, for the first time in this fourth quarter with 4 fouls. Kayla Ivey also coming back in.
Sidbury has been frustrated tonight with just 4 points because of those foul problems. Curry's open in the corner. There's finally a miss. First one of the quarter for Louisville.
And it might have been a little bit of a force there right off the inbound.
3-point game. Todd driving dish. Ivy, this is for the tie. Sidbury knocked the rebound, but it ends up in the arms of Kiki Jefferson, and watch her go. Wow, she missed the layup, but Nyla Harris right there.
It was a tough spot for Sidbury on the other end, because remember, she can't pick up her 5th foul, so it's just trying to tap it as much as possible without the contact.
Loose ball picked up by Waggoner after the miss. Ivy threw it right to Jada Curry, and it's a breakaway. Sydney Taylor has 6 straight points for Louisville. BC turned it over on the break. Now an injury whistle stops play.
What a great defensive play there. Just understanding what Ivy wanted to do there. Jada Curry. And then no problem firing that one forward. That has the potential to be a backbreaker. Plenty of time here for Boston College. Taylor getting to play that is close to where she went to school at UMass, close to home as you're going to get with Louisville. And what a second half she's had.
Louisville the ball back with 2 free throws. See the reaction from Kiki Jefferson. The result has been nothing. No foul assist. We're going to have some bruised players after this one tonight, aren't we?
It has been a physical game from the jump. There's been no doubt.
And a good one. BC back within 2. Sydney Taylor drive and dish for Cochran. Couldn't finish the first time, but she does the second time. Louisville tonight has 13 offensive rebounds. That's been the difference.
That may have been the biggest one. Just a great read off the miss. Sometimes your ability to understand your shot and read the miss is the most important thing, and she did that.
Final 2 minutes, 2-possession game. Waggoner, who's got 20 tonight, make it 22. Hits from the mid-range. 2-point game. And now the final 90 seconds coming up. Jada Curry and Sydney Taylor inside. Cochran losing it. And coming away with a steal is Dontavia Waggoner for BC. Todd fires for the tie. Gets the 2. Tiana Todd. Her 16th point knocks the score at 67. Curry got the screen from Cochran. Fires, and it's strong for Curry. Oh, and BC can't handle the rebound off of Kayla Ivey. 52 seconds left. Offensive rebound number 14 for the Cardinals.
What a great job by Todd. I mean, on both possessions here. First, the offensive one actually looked like she had kind of lost her momentum forward a little bit, but a smart job.
Out of bounds play is under review.
To hold it and to be able to make that play. And then look how quickly she crashes out there. And now we're going to look at who this was off of. It hits the knee of Ivy right there. And then the question is, did it then bounce back and hit Taylor?
I think that got the foot of Taylor on the way over the baseline. From that view that we just saw, I know that Ivy was there for BC, but I think it hit the foot or that lower leg of number 1 in red. We're going to take another look at it. This might be definitive right here. Now watch this leg of number 1, Sydney Taylor.
Right there. No, it's blocked. And you can't really see it from that angle. You can assume it, but you can't really see it. So the question will be, do they have a better look at it?
This is the best look that we have. I think that's pretty
yeah,
clear.
The way that it changes direction certainly feels that way.
Kayla Ivey and Andrea Daly for BC immediately pointing in the other direction. They sure thought it was last touched by the foot of Sydney Taylor. The official's taking a good long look.
Needless to say, this is a big moment, big call.
In that loss at Syracuse Sunday, Louisville kind of lost in the controversy at the end of the game. Louisville had a 9-point lead with 5.5 minutes to go and let Syracuse come back. In this one, Louisville was up by 5 points just about 2.5 minutes ago, and BC has come back to tie it. One more close-up look. Who was the last to touch this ball? Is it the foot of Taylor or is it Kayla Ivey?
So it's off the knee of Ivy there. Then it certainly looks like it's off the foot. And then maybe the question is, does it hit Ivy's shoe again? I don't think it does. To me, that's Boston College basketball. Now the question is always becomes, is there conclusive evidence of that?
Need to have indisputable video evidence is the terminology that's used to overturn the call on the court, which was Louisville ball. And you understand the officials wanting to take as much time as they need to get this one right.
It's a massive call. No doubt about that.
Right now it's Katie Lukanich and Meadow Overstreet, the two officials looking at the monitor. All that Jeff Walz can do is just look on, and they did change it. Ruled to have gone off of Sydney Taylor from Louisville.
To me, from everything that we saw, that's the correct call. Now the opportunities for Boston College to take advantage of.
And they will advance the ball with a timeout here. 52 seconds in a tie game. As I just mentioned, Eric, it was a 5-point Louisville lead here in the final 4 minutes. And BC has scored 7 of the last 9.
Boy, every time it felt like, all right, here's the run for Louisville. Here they extended out to 5 here, extended out to 5 there. Boston College has responded. And it's a great credit to them, and it's a great credit to Dontavia Waggoner, who is a game-high 22 points, 8 of 18 from the floor. Remember, this is all following 0 on Sunday at Virginia Tech. I mean, you talk about a response. Dontavia Waggoner has done that. 6 rebounds, 4 assists as well, and maybe most importantly, 6 of 6 from the foul line. A lot of that early on, Josh. She has been magnificent tonight. She will be the inbounder here for this massive possession.
6 of those 22 points have come here in the 4th quarter. Tie game. Boston College has a 2-for-1 opportunity if they shoot in the next 10 seconds or so. And Ivy threw it away. Waggoner was cutting to the hoop. The pass went to the wing. What a time for a miscommunication. Differential between game and shot clocks is 12 seconds. And the floor general for Louisville, Nina Rickards, allowed to dribble out near midcourt. Rickards on the attack. Rickards blows by and gives Louisville the lead. Nina Rickards with her 16th point of the night.
Well, you want to talk about trusting your group there. Jeff Walz, who does not call timeout and lets his team play it out. And remember, when Louisville was struggling on offense early in this game, this was the play. This has been the play that's worked the most tonight. Nina Rickards, and she gets around the Boston College defense, pulls Daly out, extends out from the paint. Where Boston College has been at their best defensively is when Daly has been in that painted area. A tough sequence there if you're a Boston College fan, with the Eagles having the opportunity. Just a miscommunication on one end, and credit to Louisville for executing. Again, without coach calling the timeout there, and Rickards taking advantage. Let's go back to the Boston College side and how we got there.
And this is coming out of a timeout BC called to set up this play.
And it's just a miscommunication, right? Waggoner goes one way, pass is coming back the other way. And then you see Rickards looking to the bench. Jeff Walz, again, does not use the timeout. Get that clear out play. Off of the screen there. Good work there by Louisville.
So the shot clock turned off. Boston College will inbound from the front court. There's the Florida grad transfer with 16. Question for BC is 2-point shot for the tie, 3-point shot for the lead.
Eagles do have a timeout.
It's Kayla Ivy, ball in her hands. Game clock down to 12. Waggoner looking back door, but the foul was given. Louisville had fouls to give. Does that sound familiar,
Only
Cardinal fans?
This is where we find the end of the game.
They still have one more foul to give. That was 3 in the quarter against the Cardinals. 10 seconds remain. It's Daly. And there is the final foul to give. A common foul, I add anecdotally. And now you're down to 7 seconds for BC, and this is the possession that should decide this game. It'll be BC now using its final timeouts. Down by 2, inbounding from the front court.
I think, to me, you have 2 options here. You have Todd, who seemingly has found some jumpers, or you have your Waggoner Daly driving the basketball and perhaps even trying to get to the foul line. And that's where the spots that Boston College has had success on the offensive end. 6.8 to go. That was the Eagles' last timeout. So we'll see how much pressure Louisville wants to put on the ball here with the Eagles without a timeout.
This was a 30-second timeout. If you're curious, BC has only made 2 3-point shots all night. They have each been made by Tiana Todd. It'll be Waggoner to trigger the inbounds with a 7-game losing streak in the balance. The lob is thrown away. Looking for Sidbury. Timeout, Louisville. It was Olivia Cochran. As the pass from Dontavia Waggoner never had enough to get past the big arms of Cochran.
Let's see it. It's actually there. It's just the pass isn't far enough. You can see what the Eagles are going for there. There's space behind for Sidbury, although you do have Taylor, who probably comes and cuts back in, but that pass has to obviously be much higher, much farther on the angle. It's worth noting here, Josh, 5.7 to go as we kind of... Boston College has not committed a foul in this fourth quarter, so to even get Louisville to the line, I mean, you're going to have to give 5 here. I mean, I don't know if that's even possible in 5.7.
That's where not having fouled remarkably plays against you.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to commit 5 fouls in 6 seconds to even, as you say, give Louisville free throw opportunities. That turnover might have been the death knell for BC.
And for, you know, it's 2, right? It's 2 chances. Once in a tie, once down by 2. Louisville holds its ground on the defensive end.
Well, BC has never beaten Louisville in the 10 seasons the Cardinals have been a member of the ACC. Cardinals perfect 14-0 prior to tonight. It's about as close as it's come. Cochran just running away. Sidbury fouls out. That took about half the time off the clock.
So obviously, Coach Mack understands that there's not enough time for 5 fouls. So that's why you leave Sidbury in, because you're selling out for the steal, right? It doesn't, I mean, you just have to steal the basketball here. You're not going to be able to commit the number of fouls that you need to. And by the way, that forces back into the backcourt there by Louisville running back.
Boston College needs a steal.
That's it.
That's
you're just selling
chance.
out for the steal.
And as you said, now you inbound 94 feet away. Set to trigger is Rickards, got it in. There's the second foul, but BC still needs to foul 3 more times. And there's just not enough time left on the clock if they don't get a steal.
So if you're Boston College here, you just have to grab the basketball. You just have to do whatever you can to tie it up here.
Smart play, home run pass. Taylor, all she had to do was touch it. And the foul given with 1 second left. Now, had it gone out of bounds, that would have been interesting. BC would have inbounded on the other end of the court.
And now you probably do the reverse here, right? You can go just play keep away.
Neither team with a timeout left. Louisville gets it in, game is over. Louisville gets it in. Well, 2/10 left as the foul is whistled. BC did have the arrow. The other opportunity they had to get the ball back was a
just
tie.
Grab the ball, but Louisville's done a good job finding the lanes to get it in.
So the Cardinals will win it. There's the inbounds, and Louisville scores a game winner from Nina Rickards. 15-0 all time for Jeff Walz against BC.